Studio 31.
Watch Jessica Coons weeknights on WCIA-3.
Good morning. Here's a look outside in Champaign here. Some thunderstorms moving through the area at 8 a.m. And we will continue to watch those storms as they push through the area right now here. As we look across the region, we're seeing our temperatures a bit cooler out there. Those temperatures in the 50s and 60s in most spots, thanks to the rain and storms that are rolling on through. Quite an impressive line has swept through the area here from Taylorville, Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, Champaign, Paris, and Danville. A little bit of small hail reported with it as well. Non-severe, but quite noisy here this morning with some of that lingering rain here on the back side. This is part of a bigger system that's sliding our way this morning. We can see here across the area another round likely developing here further to the south and west. That will fill back in over the region in the coming hours. A soggy Saturday here in central Illinois is expected. I do think the chance is there for a couple of strong to severe storms today. We'll talk about the best placement and location for those and the timing as well. How about some cooler spring weather on the way with more rain? I'll talk about it as the morning show starts now.
Starting your Saturday with WCIA-3 News. You're watching This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Andy Miller, the news director here at WCIA-3. Welcome to WCIA-3 This Morning on this Saturday, May the 21st. Today we have some stories for you that we think you'll find informative, inspirational, and enjoyable to watch. Stories that give us all a sense of the heart of central Illinois. It's a weekend news magazine that we hope will be a great way to start your Saturday. The Butter Cow, the Twilight Parade, the Sale of Champions, and the Giant Slide. All are staples of the Illinois State Fair, but one of those staples was in danger of being sold, dismantled, and removed. That is, until a local business owner and the Springfield City Council stepped in. We'll have the story of how the slide was saved a little later. Plus, he's known as Subway Sam, and his mission in life is to get busy commuters to slow down for a minute and engage in a game of chess. But be warned, he rarely loses. Still, his opponents say they're thankful for the opportunity to take a break from the hustle and bustle and enjoy a game. And a new trend in high school sports isn't considered by many to be a sport at all, but these teens are working to change that. How esports is allowing students to enjoy the thrill of competition without stepping onto a field or a court. We start with an inspirational story about an effort to get new shoes onto the feet of kids in need. Usually kids can't wait for the school year to end and summertime to begin, but for some it means their access to food or clothing is significantly diminished. That's why one foundation in Springfield is providing support. It's a volunteer-run organization called Share the Spirit. And as our Matthew White found out, it's helping kids get through summer and start the new school year with the confidence a new set of kicks can offer.
Oh, they're so happy and they're excited to pick out a pair that they like, and they walk into the classroom and they can be proud of what they have, show it off to others, and it's just a real good feeling all the way around.
And those are the results of a shoe and sock giveaway this week. Share the Spirit Foundation in Springfield held it on Monday, and it was for students in need that go to the Early Learning Center.
As kids are running around and playing, those shoes and socks are the first things that usually get worn out. And after the kids have had them for this entire year, playing outside in the snow, in the dirt, it's always a need for summer for kids to have a new pair of shoes that they're proud of.
Share the Spirit was presented $2,700 in shopping credit thanks to a fundraiser by Springfield Shields on Sunday. And with Shoe Carnival's help, it paid for most of those shoes.
We want to show our families here at the ELC that their kids are supported and that we're trying to meet all the needs, academic as well as any needs that they may have in their household, which would be clothing, which would be shoes, which would be socks. And we want to make sure that our students feel good about themselves and that their basic needs are provided for.
Those needs have been met by Share the Spirit since 2003, the same year that it was founded by two sisters-in-law. Both Karen and Tanya Vopel wanted to make a difference in their communities.
We've always taught our younger generation, as in our children, our own children, and the younger generation that's in our communities, that the spirit is also of giving, not just receiving, and it goes both ways. and we just enjoy it, you know, and we want everybody to have fun, the kids to have fun, and we always want our volunteers to have fun, and just spirited is kind of the way it is.
Now, on August 16th, the fun will continue for the students. That's when Share the Spirit has a back-to-school event where backpacks, shoes, socks, and haircuts will all be given out, an opportunity for confidence and identity to be gained.
They really get to have their own voice and say-so and choice in it, and it empowers them, and they're just super excited about that they got to pick. So that's the part I love about it, because when you see that smile, it's because they got to choose it. It wasn't someone giving it to them.
Share the Spirit doesn't just provide help to kids in Illinois. They also provide shoes, socks, and more in Colorado as well. But no matter where, the community impact remains constant.
From the time that they walk in and see the shoes on the table, knowing that they're getting those shoes, their spirit light up. They have so many smiles on their faces. You should hear them telling their parents when they get these shoes, you know, how good they look on their feet. They're very excited.
A group of high school students is helping put smiles on the faces of seniors through the power of a delicious meal. But these youngsters aren't just cooking, they're also teaching. Storyteller Taylor Knight introduces us to some culinary students in Massachusetts who are proving you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach.
So to start, we're going to take our almond butter and we're going to put it into the mixer.
Every other month, students in the culinary program at Westfield Technical Academy show off their cooking skills. Making a meal for seniors at the Southwick Senior Center.
As soon as they get in front of the folks, they always seem to shine and elevate their performance, and they're so good at how they conduct themselves and use culinary terms.
And pipe it out with our star tip.
We watch, we get the instructions on how to make food. Then afterwards, they end up having us taste. Well, actually, we have a little meal at the table, and we have the main course and the dessert.
On the menu this morning, Cajun chicken and pasta and European almond macaroons.
We'll get a nice circular pattern.
Culinary arts instructor Eric Rogers said the students learn more than just cooking skills during the presentation.
We're just going to get some of this paste in here.
They need to have a personality. They need to know how to talk to people in the public.
We're going to add our vanilla, almond, and egg whites.
The program, which is run almost like a cooking show, is now in its 7th year, bringing generations together to enjoy a meal.
We hear, hey, we made that before, you know, but this is how we do it. So it gives me ideas, it gives them ideas, and it just creates a lot of, you know, just dialogue with everybody, and it turns into a very nice event.
And then just go in a small circle and work your way out.
They do very, very good. The kids are wonderful. The chef is fantastic, and we enjoy it.
Weekends in May. Not too hot, not too cold. At least that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Up next, our Jacob Dickey tells us if this weekend and the week ahead will live into that. Plus, celebrating the century mark on a Central Illinois soccer field.
I didn't even know that I scored 100.
A little later on WCIA-3 this morning, we'll introduce you to a prolific scorer named Kayla Kerner and find out who she credits for all her success.
WCIA-3 News is sponsored by ChemDry Carpet Cleaning. The most accurate forecast with weather alerts and interactive radar. The WCIA-3 weather app. Always on. Download it today.
We keep hearing some thunder here at the studio. In fact, a lot of our channels are off the air right now, so I don't even know if anyone's listening here. If you are, send me a message. We'd like to hear where we're at. Had a lightning strike, it seems like. So we got engineers that are working in that. Some of that lightning and thunder in Danville as well right now. That rain continuing to fall here across the region. Temperatures where it's raining are in the 50s and 60s out there. Some stable air. That's keeping the severe threat down this morning, although we do know there's some hail, some small hail being reported earlier in Champaign, Sullivan, and Tuscola areas. Not much more than pea-sized, all we get here. That north wind tells us we're behind the front, so storms are elevated. I don't have any instability to work with. Highs today really going to be into the upper 60s and 70s, we think, here, so we'll still have a little bit to go. But our moisture here, you can see where our humid air is. Those yellow colors, that's where some of that instability is. That may allow for some stronger storms later on this afternoon. How do you know? What's the best way to tell if you have a chance for severe weather? I think it's the wind. If you've got a north wind, I think you're finished for the day when it comes to severe weather. However, Still, would expect some showers and thunderstorms, but that severe threat, if you got a north wind, I think is about done. Where do we not have a north wind? From about Danville to Mattoon, Charleston to Effingham, it seems like, points to the south. Here's this storm system that's been sliding on through here this morning. Quite a bit of lightning. Still on the backside, we've got some stratiform rain and some constant rumbles of thunder in spots here too. This round on its way out, and as it is, it will continue to send it to the curve, I suppose, and get a little bit of dry time for spots. I know there's a lot of things going on today, and we'll see here if we're able to get a lot of those things off. We zoom in. That leading edge of the storms now is off in Indiana. Still on the backside, though, some moderate rain in the Champaign-Urbana area. Further to the south, though, Mattoon, Charleston is trying to dry out. Still some sprinkles, still a few rumbles of thunder in the neighborhood, and we'll continue to watch that here. The one thing to note is, again, we've got more coming. See all this down towards St. Louis. That's going to ride up the I-70 corridor. Might be in trouble for the state track tournament today, based on the way things look. I don't think it's a good day even to get yard work done. Heavy showers and storms this morning. It will dry out a little bit. Then we get more of these scattered showers and rain as we head into the afternoon here into the region. For the day today, then, the wind is going to be out of the north and west for a vast majority of us. Some of us still have a south and east wind ahead of that boundary, and that's where that chance for a couple of severe storms will be later on today. You see where these highs are in the 70s. I think that's the best chance. Mattoon, Charleston, Effingham, and Paris. That's about it. Maybe getting as far north as Danville. You can see that slight risk really has been pushed more to the south here as that boundary's pushed on south a little bit. That's mainly south of I-70, though a marginal risk as far north as Danville, Tuscola, Sullivan, and Pana, including Mattoon, Charleston, Paris, and Shelbyville. Quick check at Future Track. There's some afternoon storms around lunchtime pushing on through. Then we've got more around in the evening here. These are where some of the stronger storms may end up. We'll watch it closely. The one thing to note, tornado threat very low, not zero. We'll talk more about how tonight cooler air settles on in with nice weather ahead. I'll have details on that coming up later.
WCIA-3 News is brought to you by Casey's General Stores.
"100 goals. It's a number most high school soccer players don't even come close to hitting. But ask Muhammad Seymour's Kayla Kerner about the milestone she achieved, and she'll nonchalantly point to her teammates as the ones who deserve the credit. Our Andy Olson caught up with a proud coach and an eager soccer team who hope their century-mark scorer will help them find success in the postseason.
No one who has ever put on a Muhammad Seymour uniform could put them away quite like Kayla Kerner, who hit the century mark for career goals this season.
I didn't even know that I scored 100.
The Bulldog striker is the tip of the spear for a potent offensive attack, accounting for almost half of the squad's more than 6 goals per match.
Immediately she made an impact, was dangerous with her speed and her physicality, and then the fact that she can just finish either foot.
It comes down to everyone that's on the field with me. Every goal comes down to my teammates pass it to me. Davis really brings out that team chemistry in our team.
Kerner also helped lead the Bulldogs girls basketball team to the best season in school history, winning a sectional title, but will continue her soccer career at the next level, signing to play at Southeast Missouri State.
Their players are all very nice, kind. They bring in a good environment for all the incoming players.
She's one of the most committed players in terms of, okay, we've got soccer Monday through Saturday, and she goes out and works with the trainer on her finishing on Sundays. It's like she puts in the time to not just be good, to be great.
Kerner has led Muhammad Seymour to an Apollo Conference championship, finishing 10-0, securing a top sectional seed.
It's not going to be like, oh, well, I think we can make it to sectionals. It's just going to have to be, well, we first take the first regional game, and then if we can make it to the regional finals, then yeah, we'll take that game as well. I think we have a chance.
Kerner and the Bulldogs will look to take another regional title, having won the previous 2 in her career. In Muhammad, Andy Olson, WCIA-3 Sports.
It takes drive, determination, and commitment to achieve success in sports. And no one knows that better than Jackie Hunt Broersma. 20 years ago, she lost her leg to bone cancer. Jackie was determined not to let that define her future. So she gave herself a huge personal challenge, a run for the record books. Mark Strassman has her inspirational story. Who says sports has to be played on a field or a court with a ball or a bat or a racket? Many of today's sports enthusiasts are turning to a controller and a screen. It's a new approach to exposing high school kids to the power of being on a team.
Gotcha.
If it works for football, basketball, and baseball, why can't high school kids play on the team that plays video games?
What's going on? Angry.
Now they can let their fingers do the scoring. Are there touchdowns, home runs, or three-point shots?
Yes, they are.
Fouls and field goals?
Yes, actually, kind of. You can actually get fouls and field goals.
Let the gaming begin on the Field of Dreams at Sci-High, New Orleans Charter Science and Math High School. It's called E-Sports, E as in electronic. In case you didn't get the text, it's a thing at schools across the country. Here at Sci-High,
here's our uniform. It's royal blue and light, which is...
The team suits up with their very own uniforms.
Here's the logo, which was made by a student that attends here at Sci-High.
Go! What's your school mascot?
Nautilus.
What's that?
So it's kind of like an octopus and a squid combined.
Ooh, I bet one of those would be really good at games. Play ball. In this case, without a ball, but with a big screen TV, where they knock it out of the park, competing against other schools from Louisiana to Minnesota. Are there officials or referees to, boo?
No, and I feel like that helped because that would really throw me off in the game.
All they need now, the sound of fans in the stands. Yeah.
It was built in 1968 and stands a whopping 40 feet tall. But this big, beautiful slide at the Illinois State Fairgrounds was one step away from being dismantled and sent away. That is, until city leaders in Springfield worked together to save the State Fair slide. Their slide-saving heroics next on WCIA-3 this morning.
They made the ultimate sacrifice. It's time for us to honor those who have laid down their lives for the freedom that we enjoy today. Join us for Everyday Heroes as we commemorate Memorial Day.
This Sunday at 12:30 on X49.
Criminal justice, ending Roe v. Wade, healthcare, corruption, jobs. Candidates hoping to unseat Governor Pritzker face off. The Illinois Republican primary governor debate, Thursday at 8 on WCIA-3. WCIA-3 News is sponsored by SK Exteriors. We back the blue.
If you've been to the Illinois State Fair, you no doubt remember the giant slide in the center of the park. For years, people young and old have rocketed down this iconic attraction that offers a bird's eye view of the park, followed by a thrilling reminder of the power of gravity. So imagine everyone's surprise when it was announced the slide was being put up for sale. As our Cole Henke tells us, the slide's not going anywhere, thanks to some leaders in Springfield who recognize the value it brings to their city.
After Erica Johnson got married in 2017, she didn't go straight to her honeymoon or even to the reception. She went to the giant slide on the Illinois State Fairgrounds.
One of the first things we did together once we started dating with his daughter, who's now my stepdaughter, was go to the fair.
Her entire bridal party went down the slide. It's one of her favorite memories from her wedding day. It's also why news that the slide could leave caught her so off guard.
As soon as I saw the story, I immediately thought of your wedding. And so, I'm sure we're not alone. A lot of people have, generated those kind of memories around the slide.
She can rest easy now. Doug Knight, owner of Knight's Action Park in Springfield, is buying the slide and keeping it on the fairgrounds. He, just like Johnson, has plenty of his own memories with the slide.
I slid down as a little kid when my mom and dad took me out there.
The slide is front and center on the fairgrounds, and soon it could be open on weekends all summer. The city wants to keep it open for their Route 66 tourism campaign, and it's expected to chip in $120,000 over the next 4 years to make that happen.
For myself personally, growing up, and that was always my favorite ride because it's one I could tolerate.
The slide was built in 1968. The idea of it leaving the fairgrounds was never an option for both Knight or for Langfelder.
The good days and the good times and getting together, and the giant slide's definitely one of those iconic fixtures in the state fairgrounds that impact a lot of people that visit the fairgrounds or are here locally.
The money to pay for the slide will come from the city of Springfield's hotel-motel tax. That's the same fund the city uses to support other kinds of tourism. Judy Fraser calls them popcorn storms, these little cells that pop up, dump some rain, and then disappear in search of their next plot of land to soak. We've had a few of those in the past few days. Our Jacob Dickey tells us if we can expect any more straight ahead. And Subway Sam rarely loses a game of chess, but his true victory comes when he sees busy commuters take a minute away from the rat race and enjoy a brief respite beside a chessboard. We'll introduce you to him next on WCIA-3 This Morning.
Congratulations to Meg Rosso, ace goalie for Champaign Central Soccer, and WCIA-3's Athlete of the Week. Nominate your outstanding high school athlete of the week at WCIA.com. Sponsored by Lohman Ray Insurance Group.
Start your career with a company that cares, one that goes beyond delivering news. When you work for WCIA, you're more than a reporter, an anchor, a host. You're a key piece to our community. Visit our Work For Us page and lead with your local news leaders.
Good morning. It is 8:30 right now here on this Saturday morning. Some of you, I think, probably just joining us finally. It seems like we had some issues where some of our channels, some of our sources went off the air, but others were watching. And I had some messages. We were on some of those streaming platforms and whatnot, so that's good to know. I do have a housekeeping note for you as well. This is just in from Coles and Moultrie County. This is for Coles and Moultrie County. 911 calls are rolling over to the backup center. That went down this morning. It'll ring a little longer than normal, but the emergency services in Coles and Moultrie County are still available. So just take note of that here. If you need any emergency services, you can still call. The phone may ring a little longer than normal, though, for that there. That's where we're looking at Charleston. They had some of that heavy rain and storms this morning. I imagine maybe that could be one of the reasons why it seems like we've had technical glitches all over the area. Based on that here. In the meantime, it is a bit cooler out there. It looks like it's 60 right now with the north wind here. We look across the state. Most of the state sitting on the cooler side of this boundary. That cold front now right through the middle of Indiana and then just clipping the south part of our area. That's going to keep our severe threat low for most of us through the day today. You see those upper 70s to the southeast. That's where the more unstable air is. Some of that instability does creep into our area a little bit. And that's why our severe threat today, not zero, but still we are on the lower end. We'll still have rain and storms, though. That's one thing I do want to mention, even if we're on the back side of that front. There's that cool wind here. Here's that instability. In the middle is that transition zone where we've had these showers and storms, and that's where we'll see the chance for severe weather here. Just to the south and east of Champaign-Urbana. Really, I think Champaign-Urbana, the I-72 corridor is clear for the day. Danville, Tuscola, Shelbyville, Sullivan, Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, Paris, they're under a low-end threat for some of those strong to severe storms. We've already seen some of those slipping on through this morning with this initial round. Look what's to come here. More widespread heavy rain and storms coming in. It's probably a couple of hours out. I think it'll be 11 to noon by the time it gets to Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, and perhaps Shelbyville. We've got the Charleston, of course, having the big state track meet today. That's not a good look here. This rain in the north side does have some occasional lightning with it as well. So even if the heaviest storms stay more south of Champaign-Urbana, we still may have some of that stratiform rain in the backside with some of those rumbles of thunder. Quick check of the severe threat today. If there is a stronger storm in those areas that are south of Champaign towards I-70, mainly hail and wind. Some of our storms in the north side have had hail this morning. We've had some pea-sized hail reported in Sullivan and in Tuscola, even here in Champaign. Tornado threat, very low. It's not zero. We'll call it 1 here from Danville to Mattoon, Charleston, Paris, and Effingham, and a 2 south of I-70. That's still pretty low, though. Just enough where we're going to watch things, but I don't expect too many problems today as far as tornado threat goes. But again, any of these stronger storms that are down here, you see all this rain overspreading the area. Those storms that race along I-70, there's one round. We get another round then this evening, and we'll just have to watch it and keep a close eye on it. We'll have more weather updates, including a look at the forecast for tomorrow. Much nicer weather coming up.
Your forecast first is sponsored by CIBM Bank. This Morning continues now on WCIA-3.
In today's hustle and bustle world, many of us aren't making the time for a good old-fashioned board game. Subway Sam is trying to change that, one pawn, rook, and knight at a time. He's challenging people to a game of chess as they await the train at a busy New York station. For Sam, it's more than just a game, though. As Monica Morales shows us, it's a way to reconnect distracted groups of commuters.
He's
sets up a folding table and offers a free game of chess to any New Yorker up for the challenge. Warning, he is a master. He's competed against hundreds of New Yorkers. For him, it's more than a game of chess, but a way to bring community together. In Chelsea on 14th Street and 8th Avenue, New Yorkers are usually in a hurry. But this Harlem man says it's the perfect place to meet and compete with the best chess players in the world.
I'd say 90% of chess is paying attention.
He's known on the streets as Subway Sam. He's offering relief for stressed out strap hangers with a mind game of strategy to distract and connect.
Maybe Subway Sam will be the one to teach me.
He wears a suit, he says, because he's all business. Chess is more than a passion for Subway Sam. It's his obsession.
That's a way to break down barriers and stereotypes. Because a lot of people, they don't look like they can play, but they might be the best in the world.
5 years ago, Subway Sam says he learned how to play to help relieve stress. When COVID hit the city, he hit the streets with his board and books he sells. Now he's here every day for hours.
They don't have time, so I tell them, listen, I got a clock, 2 minutes. We're going to play real fast.
His first match of the day was with this German tourist. Gotta be fast, and you can't be disturbed by sirens. People stop and stare at his genius.
I'm just afraid I'm gonna lose in the next 5 moves, but let's see how it goes.
You gotta stay focused and keep your head in the game.
Subway Sam won, but he says it's not about that.
You have a respect for people's brilliance.
This woman said she was on her way to an appointment but didn't know how to play.
In 2 minutes, you can teach me? Okay.
Come on over.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Subway Sam says with every opponent,
that's the queen.
Yes.
There's a lesson also in humanity. In a fast-paced world, a New York minute can mean the world.
You gotta bring positive energy, and then you attract positive energy.
Thank you so much.
Sam says the average length of a chess game is between 2 to 5 minutes, and most people want to stay longer, but they have to catch a train.
Some cooler temps are on the way. Up next, our Jacob Dickey with news of which days will be the coolest and when we can expect the mercury to head back up the thermometer. And honoring those who served our country. Up next, a story of heroism, respect for patriots, and a celebration of the generosity of Central Illinois. Hope you'll stay with us on WCIA-3 this morning.
WCIA-3 is celebrating our town all summer long.
Join us as we explore some of the most unique places across Central Illinois.
You'll find us in Westville, Decatur, Savoy, Mattoon, Clinton, Mount Zion, and this year, our final location, you choose.
All week long, we'll air stories showing off the exciting things to do in your town.
Then join us at the live Our Town events on Fridays.
Our Town 2022, sponsored by Prairie Commons Collective.
As we look out there this morning, we've got temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We've got some showers and a few storms out there. And some of those thunderstorms have brought some power outages to the air. I just posted some power outage numbers on my page, my Facebook page here, about 400, 500, 600 or so. Seems like some of the numbers for Edgar, Coles, Fayette counties in particular. Other spots seeing some occasional outages after those storms rolled on through. There's those temperatures. Here's the wind. Our cold front right now sitting as a stalled boundary here from near Effingham towards Mattoon, Charleston, up towards Danville. And that boundary, I think, really decides who gets a chance for some strong to severe storms through the day today. Most of us here seeing some light showers this morning. Trending cloudy and drier for a little bit, but then we get more showers and thunderstorms late this morning into the afternoon here. Temperatures in the meantime, 60s and 70s, cooler to the north and west behind the cold front, a little more mild to the south and east here. 66 is all in Lincoln and in Springfield. We're up to 77 though in Robinson, 75 in Marshall. For tonight, how about upper 40s and low 50s? Once we get to the rain out by tonight into tomorrow morning, some cooler air on the way. That's because that cold front sinks to the south and east. Puts us on the back side of the boundary here. Highs tomorrow under a mix of sun and clouds. Only in the low to middle 60s out there. Cool, refreshing spring air. It's on the way here in Central Illinois. We'll get to enjoy tomorrow, I think, pretty nicely here. We got to get through the storms today, though. That's the thing to note here. This is the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. Here's that marginal risk in green. That'll be from Danville to Tuscola to Pana, including Sullivan to the south. The level 2 slight risk. The better chance seems to be along and south of I-70. We'll watch it. I'm not overly concerned, but I still think there'll be a chance for at least a few stronger storms. And area-wide still has more rain and even thunderstorms coming. That's important to note. Just because you don't have a severe threat mentioned doesn't mean you're not getting thunderstorms. Where we do have the severe threat, though, it seems like mainly a hail and wind threat for the day. Tornado threat, very low, not zero. I'll leave a very broad window. We brought it earlier because a couple of rounds coming. 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. now. 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for some of these isolated stronger storms. Likely seeing rain and storms on and off through the day today, though. Here comes on the backside of the front some more refreshing air. We'll see a climb into the middle of the week before more rain and storms arrive here, and that's going to bring some cooler air. How about the next 7 days? Looking cooler than normal before we finally get back to the 80s, I think by next weekend at the earliest. We'll see how that plays out here, but a cooler look, some more spring weather that we're finally getting here in central Illinois. Here's that 7-day forecast. Again, today, scattered showers and storms are expected here. The severe threat generally towards I-70, though rain and storms expected area-wide. As we go into tonight, things start to dry out. We're dry tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds out there, much cooler on the board. Then Monday, upper 60s, maybe low 70s at a few spots. We've got rain arriving on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
For the latest in local news and weather, trust WCIA.com. No two storms are alike. That's why the WCIA-3 weather team takes you to the storm with the SK Exteriors Storm Tracker 3.
This is not good here. You need to be in your tornado safe spots.
You need to know the direction of the storm. We not only tell you from the studio, we pursue its path and reveal the effects.
I don't think this storm is done, and I'm particularly concerned for Mattoon and Charleston.
Keeping you safe in the storm with the SK Exteriors Storm Tracker 3.
This was a special week at WCIA-3. We partnered with Operation Honor Guard to raise needed money for volunteers who ensure our country's heroes are laid to rest with the respect patriots deserve. We heard story after story from volunteers and from widows for whom the support of the people of Central Illinois makes all the difference. We wanted to start with the impact those raised funds will have on one local unit, a group that's rebuilding after losing their leader. Our Scarlett O'Hara takes us to Monticello and an American Legion that's striving to keep its traditions.
Oh gosh, Ed, he was one of a kind. I don't think he ever knew a stranger.
Edward Hollis died unexpectedly in December. For the past 6 years, he was commander of the Monticello Honor Guard, a group known for honoring other veterans at their funerals.
He would say something up there to the family, and they would all start laughing. We, to this day, don't know what it was that he was telling them or saying.
He says Hollis had a special quality that made solemn times a little easier. The new commander, Nick Nichols, says taking over the role has been
a little hectic because I was not trained to do it.
Commanders handled difficult phone calls with grieving families, maintaining equipment, and more. Nichols says the other members have been helping out, but they all miss Hollis and his devotion to the cause.
Think about 8 funerals under my belt so far, so it's never easy to see a passing of a fellow veteran, but we have to honor their passing and present the flag to the family, which is an honor for us.
And he says every veteran deserves that final salute, whether they were a member or not.
Even if they just moved into the community and we don't know them, we'll still honor them and be present at their funeral.
He says they try to get at least 7 or 8 members to attend each funeral they're called to, but sometimes up to 12 may show up. And for a small community, he says he thinks they do pretty well.
They either volunteered to be in the service or were drafted, but they did their part in a big way or a small way, and we just like to honor that.
Randall and Nichols say they've lost several members over the years, and it's a difficult mission to recruit for. But they also say it's a rewarding experience to help send off our heroes the right way. Wednesday was a rewarding day for the Operation Honor Guard organization, for our television station, and for our community. We started the day at 6 a.m. with an ambitious goal to bring in $125,000 to support Central Illinois Honor Guards. We ended the day at 7 p.m. elated and thankful to announce Central Illinois donors had exceeded that goal by nearly $10,000. Another testament to the character and the generosity of our community. We asked our MacLeod Hageman to put together a piece highlighting and celebrating a successful day of supporting those heroes who honor our heroes.
We thank you very much.
Thousands turned out to help veteran families honor their fallen heroes. Operation Honor Guard raises money for veteran service organizations that provide military funerals for fallen vets.
I think it's really important. I think it's really good that the community does do that, and to give people who pass away their final rights that they deserve for being a military person.
7 locations were set up across central Illinois, including the WCIA-3 back parking lots and a spot to donate online. Despite rising inflation, donors beat expectations and turned out to honor veterans and their families, something Martha Yost takes seriously as a volunteer.
It's gut-wrenching at times, got to kind of, stiffen up a bit, but I know the families are happy for it, and we'll do all we can for them. They deserve it.
Yost says she's been donating for years and started volunteering a few months ago. She says she appreciates the monetary donations, but the group could really use more volunteers.
It's well worth it, and we could use more members. It's well worth the time. You'll feel so good after you've done something for United States. You've done something for our deceased.
In Champaign, MacLeod Hageman, WCIA-3, your local news leader.
We spent weeks preparing and planning for this event, and honestly, we always wonder, what will the response be? But Central Illinois always comes through to support great causes like Operation Honor Guard. We can't thank you enough for your generosity. We hope you've enjoyed this tour through some remarkable stories. Be sure to stay with WCIA-3 News on air and online for more stories that will connect you to our community. Up next, a last check of the weather as you prepare for your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. We leave you with our moment with nature. This morning, videographer Travis Probst takes us to Lincoln Park in Danville. Have a great day.
I will never.
Catch Matthew White weekday mornings on The Morning Show.
As we look outside this morning here just before 9 a.m., still some showers and a few thunderstorms rolling on through. This is a look in Gibson City. Some light rain falling right now on the north side of town. There's that big line of storms that came through here this morning. There it goes. It's on its way out to the east into Indiana. Some lingering rain still on the back side here. That's not going to be it for the day, though. More rain and more storms expected as we go to the afternoon. To our south and west approaching St. Louis, another round of showers and thunderstorms organizing. The strongest storms will probably stay close to I-70, but still there's rain filling in on the north side with some rumbles of thunder mixed on in with that. We'll continue to watch that lift off to the north and east. Our rain chance goes down just a little bit here as we go later on this morning, but it will come right back up as we go into the late morning and afternoon time frame here. Temperatures as well making it to the upper 60s and low 70s. Cooler to the north and west, a more mild and unstable to the south and east where the isolated severe threat is. Here we go, 11 a.m. Look at all this rain and storms back into the area along I-55 from Springfield down towards Litchfield. By 12 and 1 then, we see that filling in along I-57. Probably going to be some issues for the state track meet in Coles County. There in Charleston by noon, 1 o'clock, more showers and thunderstorms rolling on through. A bit of a break and then more on the backside here. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, we start to see more rounds of strong showers and thunderstorms approach to that area. And still 7, 8 o'clock tonight, we've got rain and a few rumbles of thunder in the backside here. That severe threat, for the most part, will be limited down to the south. That's where we do have a risk of severe weather. There's a 2 out of 10 south of I-70 for a tornado threat. 1 out of 10 from Danville towards Paris, Mattoon, Charleston, Tuscola, Shelbyville, Pana, Effingham, and Vandalia. Once the severe weather gets out of here, the main threat will be, again, gusty winds and large hail with any stronger storm. But the threat overall is low. I think by sunset, the severe threat is over, but still some lingering showers and storms into late tonight. By tomorrow morning, though, down into the upper 40s and low 50s out there. It'll be a nice, crisp morning out there. Still some clouds. I think the rain done by sunrise tomorrow. 50 in Champaign and in Danville. 48, the low in Lincoln. Tomorrow, look at this. Low, middle 60s. A breezy north and west wind out there, much cooler. We'll have a mix of clouds and sun. Not a bright blue sky, but I still think we'll have some nice sunshine at some point during the day here. We're only going to be at 66 in Georgetown, 64 in Assumption and in Mahomet, 64 in Pawnee. Spring. We get a little bit of it here. There's the cold front that's coming on through. It slides to the south and east, bringing us dry weather tomorrow and Monday. By Tuesday, more rain and storms expected here. There's Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday. There's your 7-day forecast here real quick before we go. You'll see that chance for rain that is there, and it will stay with us over the next number of days. We can get the full forecast updates online, on the app, and again later on tonight.